You're listening to The Cultured Bumpkin, a literature podcast with Jake Phillips, where we present audiobook quality readings of the classics for your enjoyment. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, just because you're a bumpkin doesn't mean you can't be cultured. Hello and welcome to The Cultured Bumpkin. In this episode, we're going to talk about home. There's a poem by Sir Walter Scott that we'll look at, listen to, read here in a minute. But first, I will say, it's hard for me to respect someone that doesn't think fondly of their home. So it doesn't matter if you're from a big city, or you're from a farm out in the country, or you're from a poor state, or a rich province, or whatever. I just think you ought to have some sort of fondness for home. And I think if you don't, I think there's something wrong with you. And Texans are generally very good about that. They're very proud of where they're from. Sometimes it can be downright annoying. But I really admire how proud they are of being from Texas. I have seen white Texans, black Texans, Hispanic Texans, Native American Texans get mad. I used to be in the Army, so my gosh, I saw the colors of the rainbow out there with regard to the diversity of race within a unit where you have to be in a barracks and just get along. Anyway, this particular incident that I will recount happened at a wedding, actually, a wedding reception, and a little twerp made a joke about the Alamo to a friend of mine from Texas. And the Texas friend of mine didn't think it was very funny, and he told the twerp so. The twerp went on to make another Alamo joke. And we almost had a fight there at the wedding reception. We had to sort of separate them and all. And, nobody hit anybody. Nobody took a swing. But we came pretty close. But anyway, I like to see someone that's proud of where they're from. And I saw it live and in color at that wedding reception. Anyway, on to the poem. This is called Native Land by Sir Walter Scott, and it goes like this. Breathes there the man with soul so dead, who never to himself hath said, This is my own, my native land, whose heart hath ne'er within him burned, as home his footsteps he hath turned from wandering on a foreign strand. If such there breathe, go, mark him well, for him no minstrel raptures swell. High though his titles, proud his name, boundless his wealth as wish can claim, despite those titles, power and pelf, the wretch, considered all in self, living shall forfeit fair renown, and doubly dying shall go down to the vile dust from whence he sprung, unwept, unhonored, and unsung. So I think that old Sir Walter Scott didn't think very highly of a guy who wasn't proud of where he's from either. So anyway, I love to see patriotism wherever that is. If you're from Wales, if you're from South Africa, Australia, wherever you're from, I like to see, patriotism and just love of your native land, your state, your province, whatever it is. So that's my 2 cents on the subject, I suppose. If you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you will. Hope you'll rate the show if you haven't, and I hope you'll tell a friend or several. And I really appreciate you listening. You've been listening to The Cultured Bumpkin, a literature podcast with Jake Phillips. Thank you very much for listening. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this, would you mind going and subscribing and leaving a nice review on whatever podcast platform podcast platform you heard this on. I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.